Hi, I'd like to make some suggestions. I don't have the answers. I just have thoughts and suggestions. I'm going to suggest that the coronavirus, the virus that struck your corona or your crown or your head, actually originates in the city of Chicago. Now, I'm not talking about a literal virus, a biological virus in the air. I'm talking about an economy. I'm talking about a shock doctrine. Now, a while back I read a book. It was called The Shock Doctrine. And the author is in front of you right now on my screen. And basically the book is about the usage of the philosophy that was developed in what's called the Chicago School of Economics. And that philosophy or that strategy was to go out and cause chaos in a country and allow that chaos to collapse the economy, then come in and offer solutions. Solution one, get an extremely large loan from the International Monetary Fund and place an entire nation in debt, so great of a debt that the nation will never be able to repay it. Also allow large corporations to come in and literally just take over the resources and the economy in the country. Now I'll show you that I believe this philosophy and strategy had been used in Chile, and we'll take a look at that. And we'll also make suggestions that that's what we're really seeing here. The real virus is an economic virus. How long can small businesses abide under this false authority and remain closed? Sooner or later, there will be huge layoffs. Sooner or later, there will be job terminations. Sooner or later, there will be bankruptcy. So let's listen to the author of the book Shock Doctrine, Naomi Klein, and let's hear what she has to say.
Impossible. But whose ideas? Sensible, fair ones, designed to keep as many people as possible safe, secure, and healthy? Or predatory ideas, designed to further enrich the already unimaginably wealthy while leaving the most vulnerable further exposed?
Naomi Klein, author of The Shock Doctrine, The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. Now she argues Trump's plan is a pandemic shock doctrine, but she says it's not the only way forward as the Senate passes a second coronavirus bailout and Trump pushes for a third.
6 weeks ago were the best they've ever been. We had the best economy we've ever had. And then one day you have to close it down in order to defeat this enemy. But we're doing it, and we're doing it well.
We'll look at coronavirus capitalism and how to beat it with Nobel Prize-winning economist Joseph Stiglitz. Then Trump doubles down on his use of the racist term Chinese virus.
Because it comes from China. It's not racist at all.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there and allow you to realize that something crazy has been going on, and most likely what is going on is that the virus does not really kill people, but it kills an economy. So as long as people subscribe to what they're being told and submit blindly to false authority, eventually small businesses will begin to falter and fail, possibly collapse. Again, this strategy comes out of what's called the Chicago School of Economics, and it has been used in various countries around the world. One example is the nation of Chile, whereby chaos was created, and then of course a solution is offered, and that is to implement great loans to people and then to hold them accountable for those loans that are creates a debt that they can no longer sustain. This could be the war that I talked about in my one video, the 80-year war cycle, the war that should arise, if the 80-year war cycle is correct, in the year 2021. However, it is a sort of a different type of war in that it's a war on the economy. By the way, incidentally, in the entire history of the United States, we've always basically been at war, and the history of the entire world is basically the entire world has been at war. I believe the correct figure, based on some information I received in a website, was about 93% of world history is, quote, at war, and only 7% of world history is at peace. So this is basically war. It's war on your mind. It's war on the economy. It's war on your pocketbook. It's war on your savings. It's war on your lifestyle. I had a call from one of my family members that said their company had an emergency meeting to determine if they're going to cut the salaries of those employed in half or to terminate positions. And a great amount of fear went through the land because of that. Okay, I'm going to take you to some other sites here. We're going to look at what's called the Shock Doctrine. And you can see in the right-hand corner there that the author is Naomi Klein. That's the book I'm referring to that I picked up and began to read at one time. So there's a lot of information in that book. Basically, the thesis, as I understood it, was create some type of a disaster, create some type of an emergency, put the country into chaos, let things just fall by the wayside, namely businesses and companies, and then come in and offer a solution, a huge loan that probably could never be repaid, or buyouts, or et cetera, et cetera. So let's stop and think about some of these places. For example, let's stop and think about the local barber or beauty salon. If you're living in a state or commonwealth where the governor has ordered you to close down your shop, if you're a barber or you're a beautician, how long can you stay closed? What will that do to your livelihood? What will it do to your income? Now let's take another scenario. You own a restaurant, or you bought a chain restaurant, and all you can put up is now drive-outs. You can get drive-outs. Well, maybe you'll get a few customers, but sooner or later, your business as a restaurant owner is going to falter and fail. Most places only have a margin of relief of maybe 30 days, maybe not even that. Maybe some places it can't be 30 days. It's less than that. In other words, sooner or later the reserves run out, and sooner or later you have to say, well, I have no possible income, and my business is done, and then it folds. Or the business takes a loan, and the loan is huge, and now that business is in debt for the rest of its existence to this big loan. I actually heard that from someone that said, oh, in our state, don't worry about it if you're a small business owner, because you can get a good loan at the bank. Well, who wants to get a loan when you're self-sufficient? This is part of the Shock Doctrine. All right, so I hope you're getting a little bit of flavor of this whole idea that when I said maybe the virus originated in Chicago. So let's take a look at that. Here's the Chicago School of Economics. Some of the images that are associated with that. The Chicago School of Economics. There's your portraits of individuals, and give you a general idea of whether it's laissez-faire, non-intervention, or government-controlled. And that could be the possibility that everything eventually then is not laissez-faire, but completely government-controlled, and then eventually that leads to Marxism or communism. So the real virus might actually be coming from Chicago. So once again, let's take a look at this shock doctrine and see what this video has to say to you. Whoops. I don't think that's what I wanted.
Shall we?
Oh, it's a commercial. Sorry about that.
What I'm trying to do in the shock doctrine is tell how capitalism unrestrained came to dominate the world. We are witnessing a transfer of wealth of unfathomable size. These radical policies have needed shocks, they have needed crises, they have needed states of emergency. Only a crisis, actual or perceived, produces real change. So much is at stake. If we want responses to this crisis that leave us with a world that is healthier, that is more just, that is more peaceful, we are going to have to go out there and make them do it.
Okay, are we seeing the actual shock doctrine right now? That's a good question. What do you think? What do you think? Are we being shocked? In that little clip she said that basically people need a shock. Do we need a shock? Are we being shocked? Absolutely, I think. And what is the end result of the shock doctrine? Loss of wealth for average people, common people, like you, like me. Loss of income for just common and ordinary people with small businesses. But the increase of wealth in larger businesses and major corporations, and to those who already have wealth. So it is a transfer of wealth and a time of which there is transformation going on. Notice back to the original video that you watched. Transformative change. Why? Because of a pandemic. Pan, the false god. Is there really a pandemic in the world? Or are we being shocked out of our minds? Literally out of our minds? Well, please leave any comments or suggestions below, and I thank you for watching. I'm not the best at creating videos, but I hope I can make contributions at this time, in the time of the crisis. Cry. Cry. It's a crisis. You better cry because you're being duped and things are being destroyed right in front of your eyes. The end of this video.